Dun, 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 dun. All right.
What is this? Are we on the dark side?
We are on the dark side, Luke.
I thought we were Jedis. I always want to be a Jedi. I never, like some kids like want to be
I've always, me too.
the
as
dark
well.
side. You want to be a Jedi or a dark side?
It was more Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a good thought.
I get the dark side. There's so many powers,
It's so so
but
much
it's
like you
and
don't
it's
really understand.
mysterious.
It's mysterious.
Yeah, which is there's that pool there. There's something that's taboo.
Although even with
Different.
the Jedi side, there's that mysteriousness too.
It's true.
You know,
It's true. Yeah.
Man. Well, hey, thank y'all for joining us for the RP podcast, that Respecting Perspectives. I hope y'all are enjoying your day or night wherever y'all are. And I got a special second appearance here. Oh, shoot. Okay. I introduced him before, but you know what? Let me say a few nice things about him because he is so versatile and he's very passionate about his music and everything that he does. And he's very kind and he always has a smile on his face whenever we show up for work. And, it's an honor to be able to work with Mr. Matthew Grubbe. You know him. You should know him by first name now.
Thank you.
That
was really nice. That was nice. Thank you.
Yeah, man. You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, I have a smile on my face because I get to work with you. It's fun, dude. For real.
Dude, you weren't
no
on
cheese.
fire.
Although they did call me cheese in high school.
Did they?
Yeah, some my close friends.
Was it like a particular kind of cheese, or was it just cheese?
No, any cheese. Yeah, cheese. No, it's because I was cheesy. I definitely have the cheesy jokes.
Well, you know what? I can relate to you on that. I was always called corny.
It kind of comes with the territory.
Mm-hmm.
Where was it again? Cornwallis. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Wallace.
The real deal.
Mm.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on again.
Yeah, man.
It's an honor. It's an honor to get to produce your podcast for you. It's been really cool working with you, and it feels special to be here again. It definitely feels a lot different the second time, even though I don't know if the first time was planned either. This time was not really planned today. We just kind of are doing it on the fly, which is cool. It's like kind of how I'm living my life,
Versatile.
A lot of times. Freestyle it.
Freestyling.
Yeah.
Fire. What Brandon mentioned, a fire jumper.
He's a fire jumper. That was a really cool episode, getting to meet Brandon and his story. And that's a great way to describe it, because it is. There's a lot going on. You're jumping from one fire to the next, and some need to be built, some need to be tamed. Right. So that's the life. That's the balance.
Well, let me say something, man. You've been killing it with the bands, and is there anything that you just want to like talk about that you are just proud of recently, or just let people know what things you've been a part of recently?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. It's been a lot of fun playing in a lot of different groups right now. Yeah, and I'm getting to play with a lot of different musicians and contribute creatively. It's as a drummer, that's kind of where it's at. Like I don't play a whole lot of other instruments, but I'd like to branch out a little bit. I can touch on them a little bit here and there, and I've played a little guitar and whatnot, and like to sing, but I don't know. I look at it like I don't really know what I'm doing all the time. I'm always like going into everything as it's like this new thing, even if I've been doing it for a long time. I'm like, how can I explore this thing in a new way? And that's like every day for me. It's everyday life for me.
We were just talking with Jay and I. Who let's give a shout out to Jay for
Big shout out.
working in the editing room, and she's just she's killing it, and she really has been helpful in the creation of this podcast too. So I want to thank her, especially for like supporting you and just like being there, for you and you guys being there for each other, and it's cool to see. And we were talking about, being the artist in you, trying to like remain, knowing that there's things to learn, you
Always.
know?
Yeah, always. And that's what's great about Jay is that Jay has taken on anything and wanted to learn everything about what we're doing, and is a huge role in Rhythm Royale podcast behind the scenes. Most people only see them on camera when they're holding the 30 seconds left, marker, but really behind the scenes, they're the reason why it all like moves as smoothly as it does. So
Yeah.
yeah, big thanks to Jay. And switching right now, coming last minute to help out and to switch cameras, like learning a skill on the spot. That's really what it's all about. Like, we're trying to learn new things and evolve and grow as people, you know what I mean? So that's part of that. And I just love to see that. And I'm very, very grateful to have Jay's help and have
Nice.
them in my life. Yeah.
That's awesome to hear, dude. I think let's tell everybody the real reason why we're together today.
What remind me?
The real reason was for you to read my chart.
That's right. Read the astrology chart. Yeah, yeah. So, well, that was an idea that we had. That was part of it, right? And that's been a developing thing, because astrology is something that you're aware of, right? It's something that I use as a tool, right? And um, it can get into some like personal details about your life, and so like if that, I would love to use maybe the chart as like a prompt to some conversations with us, and I can maybe, if people are interested in astrology, I can like show them where I see certain things. If it rings true, if like, it resonates with you, or the question is kind of, poking at something meaningful for you.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you want me to start doing that right away? Is that,
I think we should dive
right in?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I do have it on my phone here. I do have your chart saved, and I guess we'll have.
So in order to get this chart, Matthew here needs a little bit of information from you.
Yes.
And you can actually search your own chart out there.
Yes, you can.
At astrologicalcharts.com.
It's actually astro.com.
Astro.com.
Astro.com. You can get a free chart. You just put in your information. It's your birthday, your birth location, and your birth time of day.
There you go.
With that information.
Text your mom, ask her.
Basically what that means. So for anyone that's completely new to astrology or whatever, it's basically that time is going to take a snapshot of where the planets were that moment.
You ready?
In the
Wait
sky,
a second.
from our perspective, from this perspective of Earth, right? So,
love that.
And based on that, there might be some. So, like, first of all, there's been a lot. Like, I've seen a lot of conversations around astrology, because there's so much information out there that you can find. It's kind of like overloaded right now.
It feels overwhelming.
It can feel overwhelming, and so I think, like, first of all, like, the astrology is meant to be felt and understood energetically, right, as opposed to understood in an intellectual way, although there is things to know intellectually and understand in that way. But that's all. There's things that point to that in the chart as well, and the signs, the 12 astrological signs, all kind of point to specific energy patterns that we are comprised of. All of these patterns, we are like most astrologers, I'm pretty sure, and the ones that I know of that I study from, and how I feel it's too. It's a deeper thing, like just this life in general. Using astrology as a tool to understand ourselves, right, is
otherworldly.
Is an understanding that is like of how what this world really is. We don't really know. No one really can pinpoint, right? No one can really say it's where we're going, where we came from. Is that how that goes? And so these are all like the mysteries of the world, of the human journey of self discovery, right? And what is this relationship we have with each other and with the earth and with the planets and the universe that we live on, that we are existing on? Because this is just a wild, like, we're alive, like it's wild to even be alive in the first place. And I think a lot of people lose that.
Right.
They get used to living or something. And for me, I'm like, I'm so blown away that what this is. Right. I'm so excited every day for that. Some of that comes out in my chart. You can kind of see that. And I learned that later on. I'm like, wow,
Okay.
that's funny that points to that. Right. But at the end of the day, like, we are all of the same consciousness. Like, there is just one consciousness. This is how astrology looks at it, right? Like, the singularity, and science is starting to point to that. The singularity, like
Yep.
they've gotten from atoms to the neutrons, to the neutrinos. I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
to the singularity, like this one essence that we're all made of. And what is the fabric of our reality? These are things that not a lot of people are always thinking about. You know what I mean? So I understand that it gets kind of heady, and like
Love it. I
I may
love it.
lose some people like in that way, right? But like
I'm here.
I
I'm
live
here.
for it. Like I really do. It fascinates me. Life fascinates me. Just like, what is this? What are we?
Yeah.
What is consciousness? What is my perspective? What is my awareness? What is this? Where's this coming from? And how did I, all this stuff? It's
Wait, quick
fascinating.
question.
Yeah.
What if you were to define consciousness to
Mm.
someone who, like, if you were to define consciousness to an alien, maybe who never had it, how would you describe it?
I would imagine if we met an alien, that they would have some consciousness, right? Like, and they
No,
would
you're right.
know what
I'm
conscious.
just pretend,
They
pretend
might
for
just call it
some.
something different,
Oh, okay. You're right. No,
right?
you're
Like,
right. You're right.
there's just a different word for it, just like another, in different languages for the same thing,
Yeah.
which is what we learn about words. And what, the archetype Gemini in the third house teaches us is about these words and these different meanings and the duality, and how one word can mean two different
Mm,
things, and how two things can be true and false at the same time, depending on where your perspective comes from,
mm.
right?
The
So
balance.
it's a,
Uh,
yeah, and exactly, and it is the balance, and balance is extremes, and you would know about that being a Libra. The Libra is about balance. I hear you
mm,
talk about balance all the time. Libra is inherently imbalanced. It's always looking for the balance. It's trying to create balance,
mm. Hmm.
right? And Aries is like, just go, go, go. Like, I don't know what's gonna come. I'm here. I'm showing up,
Okay.
and it's new, right? And like, I might tip the balance. I might say the thing that needs to be said, that
Mm-hmm.
throws everything off. And your chart wants you to go that way.
Mm.
Your chart is pulling you in that direction to be fresh and new, in especially in relationships.
Oh, damn. Okay.
It's where your north node is pulling you to. This is the north node. This is the pull, right?
North Node, what's that? Like the one that's
It's
pulling you?
it's
The
it
one that.
what the north node means is it's the moment that the moon. So you know how the sun and the earth, as far as we know, are rotating around each other, right? We're in this push pull now. Some people believe that the
No,
Earth's going on the sun's,
yeah.
but I'm just saying that people can believe whatever they want to
Of
believe.
course.
We're going to respect all perspectives.
Do it.
You
Lock
know
it
what I'm
up.
saying?
Throw it out.
But as far as we know, they're on the same plane,
Mm-hmm.
and then the moon's plane goes up and above and down. It doesn't go around the same one. It goes kind of up and down in a diagonal. So
Mm-hmm.
those ecliptic moments, which is what happens when the sun, the moon's in between the Earth, and we have the eclipses.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like that moment is we call that where that is in the sky is the north node, and where that moment happens, where it crosses again on the way down, is the south node.
Can I ask you a
Yeah,
question?
yeah.
Dude, this is something that I have wanted to know for a very long time, and it might not be, I might not be explaining it 1,000% right, but how is it that you can see when it's a half moon, it's like literally a straight line down the middle, right? Well, because
Arguably,
like
yeah.
how can you get a straight line when the two things that are creating the shadow are round?
It's a good question. It's a good point. I don't know that it is a completely straight line. I do know, like, if I were to think about that, I would say um that the earth is uh at such a bigger level that when it casts its shadow, that the curve maybe
I
looks
see.
to a smaller moon, that line looks completely straight. But if it, if it was just curved a little bit, we might not see it because it's a very far away. Do we know that it's completely straight? I don't know. If
It
it
looks straight.
looks pretty
Looks
straight, but
pretty straight.
I always thought about it. I never really thought it looked completely straight.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Now, if
For
I were to,
just particularly, but let's take a look at it again next time.
okay,
I always found it fascinating though, like eclipses though, like how they perfectly line up the moon
yeah,
and like they're so far away. They're certain distance away, but they
yeah.
line up perfectly
There's so much
to
space
create
in the sky
this
to.
like, you know, I can't
It's
remember. Did we
wild.
talk about that on the first
You know
podcast? I don't
what?
think
I
we
don't know.
did,
Well, I'm
but
glad we just kind of got into it a little bit
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, thanks for answering that question.
But
I
that's what
didn't
I'm
mean
saying.
to.
It's so fascinating, all this stuff. And we're always wondering. That's why people are, oh, do we live in a simulation and whatnot? And
Mm,
does astrology then mean we're in a simulation? Is this like what it means? Like this is our personality thing? Da,
mm-hmm.
da, da. Are we controlled by these planets? Like I think there's just like a weird narrative around it, and around like people just don't know what to think about what life is, and so we can make up our cosmology, like how
Mm-hmm.
we look at these things, like how what our belief systems are, how do we understand the world, what we see is such a interesting and unique perspective. Everybody has a unique one. And I never really looked at astrology growing up. I never thought of it much. I saw a lot of belief systems and none of them really worked for me, but I also like studied them all. I also like
Mm.
wanted to know more about them and
Dove
why
into a
people
few.
study them, because the theory of the source of the universe, of God, whatever you want to call it, Allah, all the different names for what we don't know is what we
I
think is our
think
our
is
creator, right? And what a lot of time we don't like, I don't know if it's true or not, but is there a creator? Are we the creator? Are we a portion of the creator? Did the create This is what a lot of these, when you start looking at ancient teachings, like with the astrology, because it's been around for 10,000 years,
right. Wow,
and
10,000.
or more, right? Like we've seen etchings in of these signs in stone at like historic places that we
Mm.
know to be, that have been said to be this old by scientists.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, I'm no scientist. I believe what most of them say. I try to do my own research. Because it's hard to believe anything these days.
Mm.
But that's what science is all about. It's trying new things, testing it out, trying a theory. Sometimes it works, then it doesn't work, then it does work, and we're understanding our reality in that way.
Right.
And that's why some people think astrology is a pseudoscience, because we are doing we're using numbers and
What is
mathematics.
the
And
definition of pseudoscience?
I don't really know exactly. I would say it's like, we know what sciences are, and then the pseudo is like
It's like,
something that isn't necessarily being able to be measured with the kind of things that we can visibly measure in that way, maybe,
yeah.
right? Like we can measure space and
Pseudo maybe
time,
means
and
not
pseudo,
detectable, maybe?
exactly, which is like can be mental stuff, can be spiritual stuff. Like you can't really detect that
Mm.
other plane things, but science always points to that thing that
Mm.
they're like, we can't explain that, but we know it's there,
Yeah.
right? And so like, and it is a variable
Yeah.
that we can't explain, and they've gotten it down to the singularity, like we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, I'm a newbie in this. I've only been studying astrology specifically for like 2.5 years, very deeply.
Yeah.
But like to some people that have been really studying, they've been doing it for 30 and 40 and 50. The people that
Tens
I
to
study,
thousands of years,
tens
maybe
of
even
thousands of years,
more.
which is information that's passed down, and it's a taboo kind of information. So not everybody wants to learn about it or is into it, but the ones that do really benefit from it.
That
And it's
I
amazing. Yeah.
wanted to point out, I think like think of also the evidence that points back to 10,000 years or more, whatever, but then think of like the verbal communication of astrology that existed before we even knew like it being drawn. Like think about like the communication and I mean that had to have been the talk of the town, like where the sun is and where the moon is, like just for living purposes,
Oh, absolutely.
just
I
staying
mean,
alive.
you think about it, like when we didn't have street lights, like when did street lights become, when did city lights and this electricity happen, right?
At
Where we
6
honed it
p.m.
in. Right.
That's what
Well, but back then, once the sun went down, like TV for them was the sky, right? Because
mm,
they could see everything. There was no light pollution. You would see literally every star and every constellation, and that was how
mm.
they mapped time and reality. They were like, well, like we see these certain ones come around at certain times, and we know when they do, it gets cold or it gets warm, and we're basing our crops off of this and all, right? And kings made decisions based off of that too, and they had their astrologers, and as soon as a king didn't like what the astrologer had to say, they were gone because they wanted, but and
Just imagine that, like your life on the whim of
right, which then starts to uh, create a conditioning around what maybe the astrologer is starting to talk about
and then
because
nobody
they
would
want to
want to
keep their
be
life.
one.
And then no one wants to be one because they have to. But then you do because if you can read. Everybody was one though back
Yeah,
then.
I
That's
guess
what you
you're right.
studied, and like that was the thing, and it became outlawed. It's been a long, long time in history that it's been around. So it's gone through its own things. And so it does to a lot of people, which is what people wanted, was it to look silly and to look taboo and like, oh,
Mm,
just your horoscope. You're a this, you're a that, you're a Taurus, you're a
yeah, just throwing it
Virgo,
up to
whatever
kind
it
of.
is, and just mislabel you as something. And people do that all the time. And it's just, it gives it such a bad rap, but because again, like, and people will see what the chart looks like when we
Yep.
when we bring it up here for people to what yours looks like.
Yep.
And we can even bring mine up too if we want, and I can
Okay.
like speak to mine a little bit and what I've gone through, which maybe you can relate to because we actually have a very similar signature in our charts,
Oh, cool.
which is a
Signature.
rare, it's like a rare signature ish, but it's called a skip step.
Signature boys.
We got signature boys. Our Mars is a skip step in our chart,
Could
right?
you explain that?
I sure can, because it's probably a big thing for you in your life, right? Um, my Mars skip step is up in my 10th house, which has to do with my career. Okay. So Mars is about action, where I like to put my passion, where I'm instinctually moving and being free and need to be free in, right? And so in the 10th house, it has to do with like careers and stuff. And as you've seen me, I've been jumping around trying to do different things because I enjoy doing different things and I have skills in different things. And I'm going, where's my time need to go to? And what should I put my passions into? And we were talking about this a little bit before the cameras were on. Like,
Uh-huh.
where am I putting my time and effort and for different reasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so for you, and so what that skip step means, it's like, I'm not really sure where to go. I'll try. I'll go this way or I'll go this way. I'm trying new things, um, but it is
So you
like
can.
it is like it is. It can be tricky, right? So for yours being in the fourth house, it has to do with emotions.
So how many houses are there total?
There's
12?
12
Okay.
houses,
Figured.
and so
Just curious.
yeah,
Fourth
yeah,
house.
and so they're all related. Where like first and the seventh house are related. It's like a wheel, and so they're two sides of the same coin. Basically, you got to take a call. Take
I'm
a
such
call.
a this is the universe calling, guys. Sorry, 1 second. Hey, yo, yeah, turn your phone off before podcast. Universe, I already know that. Thank you.
Nice. So exactly. So um
The fourth house. You were talking about the fourth
the
house.
fourth house, right, exactly. So look, this is gonna be interesting, right? Because I'll just speak to your chart real quick as a holistic thing. I don't
Please
wanna
do.
don't want to just pick out one or two things specifically, but that's what, if we do that, that's like maybe what you're going through. And holistically, there's like these big picture, this big red thread that's connecting everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also like a shameless plug to my new, kind of like practice called red thread cosmosis, right? So that's what I'm calling it, red thread cosmosis, because there is a red thread that connects all these things, right?
Dude, that slides off the tongue, dude.
Right on. Thank you.
Red thread, red thread,
Um,
red thread.
And look, so like on a deep level, like on like a subconscious level for you, like with Pluto, we look at Pluto and we look at the nodes. We talk about the south node and the north node. It's gonna be a lot for you. It's gonna be like a lot of special destiny. Like there is a special destiny, a special purpose for my life. And with a Libra rising, Libra is about the balance, learning about balance and understanding balance, and kind of especially in relationships, because relationship is a balance between self and other, and how that contract works in that way, how
Mm.
relational contracts kind of work, how those kind of things do. But sometimes when that happens, Libras can be known to be like, just it's a scale is the is the sign, right?
Yep.
And that's kind of can be looked at as cold. That's like the like, oh, you're just a scale, you're just looking to create balance.
Mm.
Where is the emotion behind
Right.
it?
If you're constantly teetering.
Yeah, you're just kind of trying to keep the balance, and you're not actually releasing something of emotion in this way or that way. So this is why I love to see your music, and you're putting it in there.
Mhm.
And that's where you're learning to do in relationship with other people now.
Mm.
This is where your soul's journey is going to be understanding how other people, their soul's purpose and their journey is,
Mm.
which is very interesting. Is why you have respecting perspectives. I see it in your chart with a lot of these
Oh,
signatures.
cool.
Okay, like it's very blatant here, like what's going on. Like you are here to learn about these different perspectives, so that it can help you form yours, because it's a very heady thing of learning and understanding, and
Mhm.
maybe putting stuff into boxes is what like Neptune and Uranus and Saturn are kind of explaining here. It's like, how am I forming these understandings of these belief systems? What's the information about them? How do people understand certain things? And that can be very intellectual. It can be very heady, which is great. Is very awesome.
Mm.
But when
Hey guys, information is awesome.
information's amazing, like it's great to know things, but at some point, what is that information doing for you? Like where is it like emotionally connecting with you, and
Mm.
where are you like actually feeling like, knowing the information on how to do sit-ups is great. Now you know how to get sit-ups, like that
Mhm.
information is invaluable. But to the person who's actually done the sit-ups,
Mhm.
has the abs, feels healthy in that way, right? Like
Washboard.
worked for them, you know what I mean? Like knows what doing sit-ups really is about,
Right.
not just how to do them or what you have to do to
Yeah.
get right. And so it's the same idea. And so and for all of us, we have this journey of understanding these different archetypes and these different energy patterns.
Mhm.
And for you, there's going to be a big learning in understanding your emotional availability in relationships, and when to be emotionally vulnerable and available
Available.
to these people that you want to be in a relationship with. That's where you're going to shine through the most. And where I see, because as a person who watches and produces a podcast of yours and watches you in relationship in these conversations with people,
Mhm.
when you do dive into those emotions, when you are vulnerable, it's when the best stuff comes out.
Nice.
It's where I really, really connect with something, and I love what you're doing here, because you really promote a lot of people's things and what they do, and that
Thank you.
information is great about how you feel about it and where it connected with you. That's really where I think you shine, and where people
Mm.
want to hear from you. And so lean into that, even though that's difficult to be, emotionally free and available,
Mhm.
and showing up in that way in relationships, especially in, create like not just emotional relationships, but all relationships.
Yeah.
And you were earlier today, you shared a video with me of yours that's going to be coming out soon. It was amazing.
Thanks.
And you got emotional afterwards, right? And I got to see that side of you, because that is important for me, for you, that it's important for the art. Yeah, that's what the art is supposed to be about. That's what we're here to
Mm.
do, is what we're putting out. And this is art. Like what you creative here is it's
Mm.
art. And so yeah, like being vulnerable in your art is what, is really what it's all about.
Mm.
Because that's how we're all really learning from each other. So
Good stuff,
yeah.
dude. I really appreciate you, man. It's so cool to be a part of something that's really, I feel like it's greater than all of us, back to that like singularity. I think
Yeah.
I think we can't give them too much information, cuz then we need to have Matt's going to be here
Yeah,
soon
we don't have to look at the
again.
chart anymore, for
Matt's
sure.
gonna be
That's
here soon again, and I I'm just excited to see, what life brings, to your front door, and all the things that you can become, and all the things that you can learn, throughout the journey here. And it's really cool I mean, you were calling it heady, but like, it's really just like, just deep information, just deep thoughts, and being able to share them with other people, and like understand like where they come from, like why they're there. And yeah, man, I'm super grateful for what we're able to give to the world. So
Yeah,
good stuff,
I
man.
I, I believe the same thing, man. I really appreciate you, and that's great. I appreciate you saying that. And it's interesting. I don't know, like there's so much like farther for us to go with any of this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I just I'm really looking forward to seeing where we evolve to, like seeing the evolution happen, and the guests that we'll have back on, and getting to meet and stuff. So I think that's really exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
um and just like seeing people's evolutions, and so like, so real quick, before we get too far away from like the astrology and stuff, because like what I said was like
Mm-hmm.
a couple things that I read in the chart of like where I see there might be some energy pushing and pulling. So I'm wondering what that meant to you, and if in fact, do you feel any kind of way about that at all? You know?
Let's see here. That's a good question, actually. How does the information make me feel?
Yeah, yeah, like because from where that is, right? Like from what I'm seeing in the chart, like what those signatures kind of say is that there is an instinct to protect yourself and protect your emotions. There's an
Mm-hmm.
instinct right away to guard yourself in that way, and because like you'll just go do something, and then you'll learn like, oh, that was wrong, and then it could feel like maybe a little difficult or
Mm-hmm.
something. Does that ring true?
Oh, yeah. Well, recently I have been working on um, just mastering my vocals, and I've been a part of this journey with my singing coach, Chrysaline Petropoulos. And in order to be a really good singer, you have to kind of put your emotions to the side for a second, because you can't sing and cry at the same time. So you really have to learn how to manage your emotions while you're performing them. And I've had to, you know, have this switch that's on and off, where it's like the emotions themselves are actually what brings the music,
Isn't
and
that a funny dichotomy that happens, the duality of those things existing at the same time?
yeah.
And this is what the astrology looks at too. And so this is why I asked, because that's exactly where the lesson, like if there's no, I don't like to necessarily look at them as lessons that we're
Mhm.
learning through the astrology, but it's just patterns that we're living through and understanding and more conscious of. And this speaks to your nodes, which are opposite each other, and squaring this Mars of protecting the emotions. So this is the part of it. So Libra is the extremes we were talking about, the balance of them.
Mm.
So remembering like that there is a threshold. Tell me if this rings true for you.
Yeah.
Like of like where like, okay, you can't cry and sing at the same time and sound great, right? But the crying is the emotion, is why you want to sing,
Mhm.
right? And so where is the line? Because like on a thermometer, there's nowhere that says hot and cold.
Yep.
It's just degrees.
Yep.
And depending on your perspective,
Mhm. What
this
degree?
one is cold because it was up here and now it's down here. So
Yep.
in that perspective, it's cold. But from down here, that's hot because it was from down this perspective, it's I'm in the colder zone,
Yeah.
right? So where is it in the extremes of where like where can I take my emotions and still function in the thing that I'm doing?
Not hit the
And
extreme.
not, well, can I hit the extreme?
Mm.
can I stretch what the extreme is? That's what balance really is. Balance isn't just holding it perfect. Balance is understanding the extremes that tip and knowing where those lines are drawn. You have to tip the scales to know how far your balance really goes. How and so this is a big lesson for, this is a big Libra lesson when you think about when you have placements in Libra. And so anyone that knows, oh, I'm a Libra, that's your sun sign, and that's just your creative output on this lifetime. So it goes deep, right? But that is the lesson of Libra. And the more we understand Libra, the more we can understand a certain aspect of life. The more we understand Aries, the more we understand Taurus. All these things have something, and we see them in these lives. And so for you, I hope, that you can see that, like, that's part of that balance, or that, that journey of finding, like, how extreme can I take my emotions, and can I be vulnerable with anything, whether my music or with my partner or with my friends, and because that's who you really are. But then there's like, oh, that person's always extreme. That person's always emotional mess. Well, some people like that, and like that's some people have people. That's how you are, and so we want to be free in that, and so explore that in your relationships. I'd say that's what
will do.
that's what the chart is kind of screaming out to me, is explore those emotions.
I got some homework from the moon.
Yeah, exactly. The moon literally is the emotion. That's great. Way to call it back. The moon will call to that. So yeah, astrology is cool, man. Like, and that's just one thing. So I hope anyone that isn't into astrology didn't get turned off or bored by what we were just talking about. But it is fascinating to me. And so if you want to learn more about me, Red Thread Cosmosis online, you can reach out to me and stuff like that. But besides that, man, I'm just glad to be here. I'm like I like making music. I hope we make music together.
Yeah, we need to work on that, actually.
Yeah, I know you don't need a drummer. I know you're talking about the guy. You got those beats,
dude.
like at that 16
listen,
loop.
Not that I always need anyone who is making music. I need them.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it works.
That's how I love that. That's the outlook. We're learning from each other. We're growing from each other. That's what I think life is all about. Like, the most important thing, really, honestly, is like helping each other along the way. Like, as with our evolution, we're all here growing and trying to make stuff happen and learning and living and just trying to have a good life, and with everything that's crazy that is happening, in our world, and we have all this information, and we see what's happening across the world and tragedies that are happening in real time, and it can be a lot. Which is why I use the astrology also, is to ground myself, understand myself, get in touch with source again, understand, like, seeing, what is my best use of time, where am I passionate here in this world, and understanding myself to just grow in that way. And so
dude, just drop the mic right now.
it's it's attached to something right
here.
Dude,
so. Thank you so much for getting in depth with that, and thank y'all for joining us. And I'm super excited to see what this podcast has to bring for the next few months here, with all the cool guests that I have planned for y'all. And just know, every episode you got Grooby over here just in the back doing the live editing, and just always coming up with ideas and thinking of ways to maneuver things. So super grateful for that. And I'm glad that y'all came to join us for another episode. We will catch them on the flip side.
peace.